has said more than once, not because of any, she said, I'm glad you're the pastor, not me. She didn't get the word. I did. And that's why she couldn't understand sometimes. You need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do this. And I'm talking about a whole lot of stuff. You need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do this. You know what my word was? Go home. I had people doing this in my face, cussing at me. You know what I did? I got my word. Go home. And they left. I got my word. I'm going to stay in. As I feed on that word, my relationship with him grows. And it gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And he can send me to the richest country in the world to think they got everything and say, pastor a church there. We don't need no God. We're blessed. As soon as I start presenting that word to them, somebody's heart is going to be open because of that word. The power's in the word. The power's in the word. We don't need your God. The power's in the word. One minister kept preaching to one Arab man for I don't know how many years. I mean, it was a long, he said, I spit on that man. I did all kinds, but he kept coming back. And then one day he broke him with the word. The word broke him down. And when he broke him down, he said, okay, tell me about this Jesus. Now that same Arab man is a preacher in God's army because of the word. Doesn't matter what the laws of that country says. This law overrides that law because this law is from the Creator. Hallelujah. John 15. John 15. Let's go to three places. Verse 1, Jesus said, I am the vine, and my Father is the husbandman. Is the vine greater than the husbandman? No. Because the husband can pull a vine up at any point in time he wants to. We've seen men of a couple of 100 pounds take a saw and drop a tree that weighed thousands of pounds. Now, verse 4, I'm sorry. We have to do 4 places. Verse 4, abide in me. That's the same thing as being strong in the Lord. Abide does not mean visit him on Sunday. I got to keep emphasizing that. When you wake up, abide in him. As you're going to sleep, abide in him. And guess what? If you develop your day like that, guess what you're going to do while you sleep at night? You're going to abide in him. Your dreams will be much better because your dreams are based on the words and the thoughts of the day. Well, if your words are coming from his thoughts, then you're going to think just like him. And when you dream, you're going to only dream creative thoughts. Amen. Inside of the people in this room, there is enough creativity in this room to bring this nation and this planet out of this recession. And as we abide in him, he'll give you a thought. And when he gives you a thought, you'll write the vision. And it might stay like that for 10 years. And then all of a sudden, a piece comes. And then another piece comes. And then another piece comes. And then after a while, you build a little washer and patent it. And every machine out there, for the most part, has something in it like this washer, and they got to pay you royalties. And you make billions of dollars off it. One lady wrote a letter to Pastor Price, and his wife read it on TV yesterday, and a man started listening to the word, started developing that relationship at 17. He's now 40 or something years of age. He's a doctor. He has one of the most successful practices, and I think they said the Northeast or in the East. And he sent his tithe check. Would you like to know what his tithe was? Now the tithe is the 10th. His tithe check was $10,000. His tithe check. Where did that come from? It came from his relationship with God. Now God used Pastor Price to connect the young man to him. But his relationship came. And all that came out of that word that was preached to him, all this stuff God has set aside him as he developed his relationship with God, all this came out. So what's in you? It can't come out but by the word. What's in you? Josh was one day, he was talking to his mama, and he said, Mama, I'm going to own a restaurant. He said, 'cause I think he said something like, I'm not going to live on the street. You got to know what you're going to do, or you be on the street. Something like that is what he said to him. Well, he's got a word in him. You almost have to threaten the boy's life to get him out the kitchen. He wants to see how you're turning it. He wants to know what you're doing. He wants to watch it bubble. I don't get excitement from watching stuff bubble. But Josh is in there, he's leaning. Go do your homework, Josh. You turn around, where is he back? Can I put that in? What's he doing? It's coming out. He's going to have the top restaurant in the world.
Go ahead, Josh.
I do not doubt that. I do not doubt that. My daughters, they had homework. They just came through a week long of testing. One of them did. And at the end of the week, her teacher gave them homework. I said, how's she going to give you homework and you just finished a week long set of testing? But guess what? I kissed on the cheek and I left. What was she doing? Homework. I wouldn't be a bit surprised as God blesses us and as the ministry and everything grows that she ends up running. I wouldn't be a bit surprised. Can you imagine the top restaurant in the world in a church? That's the best restaurant in the world. How'd you start doing that? Man, I just started as my relationship developed with the word. Right now he's struggling even to be here. But it's after a while, it's going to settle in and boom. When they need the best chef in the world to come cook, they're going to call him.
Amen.
I'm sorry, Mr. President, I would love to come, but Dad's coming in from a meeting, and I cook a certain meal for him, and I cook it only. Or can I come there and eat? Sure, Mr. President, you can come here and eat. Can you see that? He thinks he wants to go to school to learn how to do cameras, Willie, so he can help me as far as getting the ministry out on TV and things like that more professionally. But don't be surprised if the top production company in the world is from Willie James Morgan III. And they're not going to have one of them stupid names on it. And Nicole, top fashion, she just got 8 or 9 of the top 20 businesses are all in my family. And Forbes just say, well, what's the top 50 business, top 20 businesses? The Morgans. Y'all keep asking me, I tell you that every time. It's the Morgans. Where'd they get it from? God put a word in here. How did Jesus get here? A word. An angel came to a woman and said to her, spoke a word to her. The seed that became Jesus was a spoken word that Mary received. I'm still talking about in the power of his might. You gotta receive it. You gotta draw it, receive it into you. And it says, and the word grows up and becometh. I saw that one day, and it said, and it grew up and becometh. What is it? The word is growing up and becoming. Amen? Amen. Now, he said in verse 4, abide in me and I in you, as the branch cannot bear fruit of itself. Notice, you cannot produce this kind of a life apart from my strength flowing in you. Remember, Jesus said, I'm the vine. I'm the source. Everything that's on the limbs produce the fruit, but the source of nutrients that goes to the limbs comes from me. And this is the same thing Paul is saying in Ephesians 6.